381 Marines left for dead. That number wasn't just a statistic, it was a ticking scream inside every encrypted radio channel across the battlefield. A number that meant failure, a number that meant families would never see their sons again. And yet inside the shadows of a broken command post, with a smell of burnt metal, gunpowder, diesel smoke, and blood lingered like a curse, a silent figure checked her weapon one last time, clicked the bolt, and whispered, "Not today." She wasn't standard military, not on any roster, not on any official deployment list. She was a ghost, a myth, a classified asset known only by codename. Spectre, 13, and only the Pentagon's Black Ops division knew her real name. She was a Delta 4 sniper, the kind of operator that wasn't acknowledged, the kind who didn't officially exist, and the kind who only showed up when the situation was already beyond salvation. The Marines trapped in that valley didn't know she was coming, didn't know a woman was about to rewrite history, didn't know that someone out there was willing to break every regulation, every chain of command barrier, every military law, including the one that said she was forbidden from entering an active Marine combat AO. But she didn't care because the radio chatter wasn't just reporting casualties, it was pleading, begging, choking with panic. "We're surrounded, multiple platoons wounded air. Support denied, artillery offline. We're losing men, God, please, anyone, come on, anyone." And that was enough for her. She holstered the compact pistol under her tack vest, lifted her suppressed custom-built rifle, nicknamed Black Eden, a weapon with experimental ballistic AI calibration, carbon-wrapped barrel, and explosive tip penetrators, and started moving through terrain no sane operator would cross alone. The enemy force wasn't just a militia, it was an entire mercenary battalion mixed with foreign spec ops and insurgent armor units, well-trained, well-funded, heavily armed, and strategically positioned, across cliffs and ridgelines that formed a natural cage around the Marines. Drones had been jammed. Satellite eyes were blinded. Every known extraction corridor was already rigged with layered IED traps, AP mines, and counter-sniper nests. Not even a full armored battalion could push through without losing dozens. But she wasn't a battalion. She was one woman, and sometimes one is enough. Moving silent, almost unreal, she crawled along a shale ridge, scanning wind currents, angles, pressure changes, and heat signatures through her scope as if she were reading a map written in fire. Her heartbeat slowed, not from fear but precision. Her breathing disappeared, not shallow, not tense, just gone, like her body no longer needed oxygen. Then, before fear, before thought, before hesitation, she fired. One round, one silent thunder, one perfect arc cutting the distance like destiny had written coordinates into her bones. A hostile spotter's head snapped back before his radio signal could reach command. Another shot, another life erased. Then another, then another. She wasn't shooting. She was conducting a symphony of death, every round a note, every body falling a measure in the rhythm of war. Inside the valley below, the Marines started noticing something strange. The enemy fire patterns were changing, collapsing from coordinated aggression into confused sporadic bursts. The Marines didn't understand why, until one corporal spotted something through binoculars, a singled on a far ridge, not large enough to identify, but definitely a person. And right after he spotted her, another enemy heavy machine gunner dropped like a puppet with cut wires. The Marines erupted, not in cheering, but in stunned disbelief. "Who the hell is that?" someone yelled. But no one answered, because no one knew. Meanwhile, command was losing their minds. She had no authorization, no clearance, no operational go-ahead. A 4-star general roared across encrypted comms. "Stand down immediately." "That is an order." She unplugged the radio. She continued. Black Eden's barrel glowed faint red now. Not from recklessness, but volume. Targets were falling from positions no normal sniper should even detect. Targets hidden behind thermal shielding, behind reinforced walls, behind camouflage tech, so advanced only military intel even knew those positions existed. And yet she was eliminating them as if she could see through the world itself. Fog rolled across the valley, and instead of slowing her, it enhanced her, because she wasn't guessing, She was calculating, using sound, pattern recognition, heartbeat vibrations through the earth itself. The Marines below slowly reorganized, something in them reigniting, something primal, the kind of fire soldiers feel only when they realize they are not abandoned. The wounded were pulled into cover, ammo redistributed, flanking teams formed. The enemy, realizing someone was dismantling their strategy, called in armored units. Tanks growled forward, and she smiled. Reaching in her pack, she pulled out a small device with a blinking blue diode, an experimental micro-EMP mine. She slid down a slope, moving dangerously close to the armored convoy, closer than any sniper ever should. One slip, one noise, one broken twig, and she'd be dead, but she didn't slip. She didn't falter. She placed the device under the leading tank, whispered good night, and retreated. 3 seconds later, boom crack flash, a silent blast rippled outward, and the engines of all 7 armored vehicles shut down with sudden paralysis. The battlefield froze. The Marines finally saw her silhouette, standing tall on a shattered rock formation, wind ripping through her hair, rifle slung, pistol drawn, like war itself had taken a human shape. And in that moment, everything changed. The Marines roared forward. Not because someone ordered them, but because courage is contagious. Close quarters combat erupted. She moved with them, not ahead, not behind, among them, guiding them, eliminating threats before anyone else could even point them out. One Marine, barely 18, bleeding from his shoulder, stared at her and whispered, "Ma'am, who are you?" She didn't answer. She just winked and kept shooting. Hours passed. The sun began to rise over mountains, painted with smoke. The last hostile tried to flee. She didn't chase. She waited. He ran 30 meters before collapsing, her final round stopping him mid-stride. Silence, then screams, not of fear but victory. The Marines, exhausted, wounded, filthy, covered in ash and blood, surrounded her. Their commanding officer approached, breathing heavy, face bruised, eyes full of awe. "Why did you come?" he asked quietly. Nobody was allowed in. Command forbid backup. You weren't supposed to be here. She looked at him with calm steel. Because rules don't matter when lives do. Evac finally arrived. Late, embarrassed, and confused. The Pentagon filed reports. Politicians demanded answers. Generals argued. But the Marines? They didn't care about politics or protocol or paperwork. All they knew was this. 381 Marines walked out of that valley alive because one woman refused to let them die. Before boarding the extraction helicopter, she turned, looked at the battalion she saved, and said only one sentence. "If anyone asks, nobody was here." Then she vanished, back into the shadows, back into myth, leaving only stories told in hushed voices across barracks, deployment tents, and late-night guard towers. Stories of a sniper who wasn't supposed to exist. Stories that now reach you here on our Brave Stories. If you're watching this right now, don't forget to subscribe because more unbelievable true war stories like this are coming. And tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? Because someone out there needs to hear this. Heroes don't always wear rank. They carry responsibility, courage, and fire inside their soul.